Hey folks, Deano here again. This time take a look at a figure that's pretty much came out of left field. This is the CTTOYS Son Gohan Beast. So yeah, it's a third party of Beast Gohan, which is a welcome surprise, especially considering how quickly Beast Gohan's going up in price and how much he actually retailed for in the first place. But yeah, this is a relatively new company as far as I can tell. They've only really done clones of the Figuarts Spider-Man. I believe the 2099 Miguel O'Hara from Across the Spider-Verse is their newest one. From that line at least. I think they've also done the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. So yeah, assuming of course they are the same company. I know they've got a very similar name at least. So yeah, but in any case, this guy comes in two versions, the Beast version and the Ultimate version, which I decided to go with this guy because I thought you guys would much prefer to see what the more expensive of the two figures would look like cloned. So yeah, this was £25, which is very, very affordable, especially for Beast Gohan. But as you'll see in the review, the price kind of justifies the quality, if that makes any sense. So yeah, let's take a look at the box first, shall we? So pretty plain. You've got a picture of Beast Gohan. Actually, really nice picture of Beast Gohan there. And Son Gohan Beast, CTTOYS, same on the top and bottom and the sides. And on the back, they actually have their own blurb. So, it is handmade series with the theme of pursuing movable character expression, condensing techniques such as shape, movable, and colour. Yeah, that's pretty obviously pidgin English. Then obviously the Chinese characters kind of gives away that this is a Chinese-made figure. But hey, at least they've got the warning label on it. And apparently it's recyclable, as far as I can tell from that. In fact, is that one's Japanese, isn't it? But the rest of that's definitely Chinese. I can tell the difference. So yeah, decent enough box, gets the job done. Let's get this out the way. So he comes with the exact same accessories that the official one comes with, even down to the special beam cannon, which unfortunately isn't moulded the best. I think they've made it out of a softer rubbery material, probably so that it didn't break, because I was afraid in the official review that this was going to become brittle quite quickly. So they've obviously casted it out of a softer material to kind of avoid that. But at the same time, that's made it so that the rings don't really match up. It's kind of wonky. But hey, it gets the job done. And the stand does hold it up quite well. He says as it doesn't. There we go. So it holds it up on its own weight. Once it's on his hand or on his wrist, it'll do just fine. So, in terms of faces, he comes with the lovely smirking face, the teeth gritted face, and the full-on yelling to the side face, firing the special beam cannon. And he also still comes with the bonus Ultimate Gohan Going Beast head. So yeah, the tampos on these guys are really, really good. They're only slightly different as opposed to the official ones, which is completely fine by me, especially considering the price. It comes with a pair of grippy Kamehameha hands, pair of splayed open Key Blast hands, pair of martial arts posing hands, and special beam cannon / instant transmission sort of hand. Which, yeah, standard array of 3.0 hands at this point. So yeah, decent amount. And finally, you get the crossed arms, which is that, yeah, that's a scuff from the black paint. It's not painted amazingly, but it gets the job across, or the point across, and the pegs are actually normal instead of the clear plastic that the bootleg version used, which basically made that unusable. Like, if you took that off the wrong way, that was going to be stuck in the forearm forever. So yeah, taking a look at Gohan himself, the first thing you'll immediately notice is that even though they've went with the sort of Beast rubber overlay design, they've not copied the tattered look. They've actually went for a clean look, which, yeah, the Ultimate Gohan version also has this exact same body, even down to the rubber overlay, which, I mean, props to them. They made their own overlay instead of copying Tamashii. Speaking of which, it's very soft. Like, it's actually a lot softer than Tamashii's version, which means it doesn't get in the way nearly as much. I mean, look at that. Absolutely no issues whatsoever. Only issue I'm having with the actual mould is that I can't quite get this side to sit properly over the shoulder. It starts showing the joint, which is a bit unfortunate. And the belt looks a bit cheaply made as well. In fact, I think it's actually on backwards. It should be the straight on piece that goes to the front. So maybe fix that later. But yeah, overall, the look of the figure is really good. I do appreciate the detail that's went into him. The problem actually comes down to the overall quality of the plastic, I'm afraid. I mean, again, it's a 25 quid figure. This is a lot cheaper than even Demoniacal Fit. I mean, it's only slightly more expensive than the actual bootleg, the cheaply made, horrible bootleg. So I can't knock it too much. But yeah, once we get into articulation, you'll see what I mean. But yeah, overall, the looks of it is good. They've even got the shading in the hair. Speaking of, it doesn't quite have the same issue the official one has, where the faces pop off, which is a good sign. It's held on quite tight, even if it doesn't quite fit on this side. But even the official one has trouble with that sort of thing. So yeah. Moving on to articulation. The head is still in the double ball peg, so you can look up really far. You can look down, including the neck, really far as well. Swivel and hinge, that's a bit tight as well. That's a good thing. I'm giving that a positive. The shoulders are the exact same as the official, even though the rubber overlay is more pliable, so that means it can get out the way easier. So we can go up that far. Swivel, bicep cut, double joint at the elbow, ball hinge at the wrist. You do still have the ab section there, so you can go back that far. You can go back that far. You can actually see into the joint there. That's come out a lot easier. That actually felt as if, did that pop out? It did. Is that meant to happen? I think I might have just popped the ab section out the joint. which is why I'm getting more range than I otherwise should have. So ignore that section. He does have waist swivel, 3.0 hips, can get up that far. Ooh, bit of a crack there. Yeah, that plastic quality is really letting it down. A bit glue in there though, and that would be fine. You can do the splits like so. Ooh, that's really tight. Thigh rotation, double joint at the knee, boot cut, which can swivel, ankle pivot, decent back and forward, and toe articulation, which, yeah, pretty decent. Like I said, the only issue, there we go, that's it, popped back in. The only real issue is the plastic quality itself. I would be a bit careful if you're getting this guy to pose him. The plastic quality, I would say, is somewhere in between official and bootleg. It's not as good quality as Demoniacal Fit's plastic quality, unfortunately. You can actually see the sort of flashing in places and things like that. But overall, like, compare him next to the official. And let's get him into a close pose with him. There we go. So yeah, if at this point you missed out on the original and you don't want to pay the aftermarket prices, because this guy is approaching like £100 at this point, or even if you got this guy but you want him with the clean outfit, I'd say this guy's a decent alternative, especially for the price. Not sure how much of these guys were produced. They may have been limited stock, not sure, but they're all over AliExpress at the moment. So if you want to get him, he's one I would recommend, honestly. Just be more careful with him than you would a normal Figuarts, and you'd be totally fine. And I just realised the camera was out of focus there because of my hand. But yeah, definitely the two of them are a lot closer than you would think for the price difference. That's all I'm going to say. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see y'all later.